Hey guys, welcome to our Premier League Week 9 rundown. Normally JJ is here. He is not, but Nigel is back with us. We're going to run down all our 10 picks. Nigel, thanks for being here.
Yeah, I think I can make it how many miles away you are? 6,000 miles away. I can make it on time. JJ can't make it, 5 miles round the corner. So good to be back.
Yeah, well, good to have you. Apparently, it's something to do with a bus crash, JJ said. We'll have to wait and see what happened. Either a bus crash or a heavy night out. Who knows? Jury's out on that one, I have to say.
I do speak to him on Twitter quite a bit, JJ, and I always tell him never to drive that bus when he's been on a heavy night out. So, it's only himself to blame. But hopefully he's okay, and hopefully everybody else is okay as well.
Yeah, well, he will be back next week. But I tell you what, though, one of the other things I was thinking about, his record came down a little bit. I think he was 110% profit. He's now 104, 105. We actually all took a little bit of a knock, but I'm still up there. I think I'm 115%. I can't remember what you are, Nige. I think you're about 112%. And then JJ's there, 104 ROI. So time to step it up and deliver our picks. We're going to start today with Bournemouth versus Tottenham. Not a bad price for Tottenham, though. They are away to Bournemouth 4, draw 3.7. Obviously, they drew on the weekend, definitely looking to bounce back. Going to take their win, to be honest with you. That's my bet for that match.
Well, Natalie, I'm going to say one thing. I'm fired up.
Good.
I'm fired up about this game. I actually think Tottenham will win the game, but I do think there's going to be goals. I think there's going to be lots of goals in this game. Last season, this game was 5-1. In the reverse fixture, it was 3-0. So there has been 9 goals in the 2 games between these two sides. They both play football in a really, really good way. Eddie Howe's side will go out and attack, which means that they leave themselves open in the back. And I think there's goals in it. Both teams to score. I think it's a good bet. But I really like both teams to score and Tottenham to win here at 3.75. I think that's an absolute brilliant bet.
Yeah, I don't like betting against the tightest defence in the league, I'm afraid.
Well, I do. I think Bournemouth are on fire. I think Callum Wilson's got goals in them. I think Bournemouth are on fire as well. 6-1 at the weekend. Definitely goals. Both teams to score and Tottenham to win for me.
All right, yeah, Bournemouth at home could see a goal there. It's a single bet, both teams to score 1.77. Guys, look into that. Next, Arsenal versus Middlesbrough. Obviously, Nigel being an Arsenal fan here. Are you going to go and watch the match, Nigel?
I won't be there this week. But I do think Arsenal will win. I think everyone going will see an Arsenal victory. I think they win by a very convincing victory. I fancy Arsenal to win half-time, Arsenal to win full-time. No real bet for me at the price. I think the prices look bang on, but I do think Arsenal will win, and I think they'll continue their fantastic run they're on at the moment. Middlesbrough in total disarray and could be a team that get involved in a relegation battle this season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Nigel, I'm with you. I've got no bet for this. I do have a lean, though. Last fixture at the Emirates ended 2-0 to Arsenal, expecting something like a 2 or a 3-0 win. Arsenal minus 1.5, you get that 1.83, but that's a lean, not an official bet. Burnley versus Everton. Burnley 6.5, Everton 1.65, and the draw 3.81. Everton was a banker for me in the beginning of the season. It's low 1.65. It's not a bet that I'm going to take. Do you think Everton can win this, or are we going to see a 3 points to Burnley?
I would like to back Everton, but the thing is, Liverpool went there and lost 2-0 earlier in the season. I think Burnley don't have any goals in them. If I'm looking at maybe a win to 0 to Everton, but really there's no real bet for me. I think Burnley are a side that are struggling. They're good at home, not so good away from home. Everton are a side that are very solid. For me, the prices look bang right. If you can get 2.0 Everton, I'll back it, but the price is no bet.
Yeah. Everton are also slightly stronger on the road this season. I'm going to take a gamble on this one. This is a bet for me. Both teams to score. You get that for about 2.05. Burnley have, they're at home. They've managed a goal against the likes of Southampton last weekend, 2 against Leicester, 1 against Hull. I think we'll see a goal from them. I'm going to stick my neck out. It's a risky one, 2.05, but I'm going to do it.
Well, good luck with that. Not for me.
All right. Hull versus Stoke. Hull 3.13, Stoke 2.46, and the draw 3.41. Hull are stronger on the road, obviously, but this time being at home. Stoke are even both at home and away. I think this could be quite an evenly matched match, although sort of got a feeling towards the Stoke win or a Stoke draw no bet or something like that. Have you got a bet for this match?
Well, I think it's Stoke are the side that are underachieving, and Hull are the side that have overachieved at the start of the season. So they're going to change it around. It looked the game for me on paper to be under 2.5 goals, but Hull have been involved in a 6-1 defeat last week. Stoke have all been involved in goals every single week they play. It looks to me as an unders. If I looked at it now, I'd turn around and say under 2.5, but there's no real stats to back it up. There's no real form to back it up. For me, no bet. I'm sorry about it. I've only got 5 bets this weekend. No bet for me.
No bet for you, Nigel. All right. Well, listen, but last meeting, September 21st, obviously playing the League Cup, saw a 2-1 Hull win on the road. I'm actually going to go for both teams to score again in this match. We could even see the draw. I think Hull are being underestimated because they've only won 1 match in 5, but they have, in fairness, been playing tough teams. They've played the likes of Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal. They're tough competition for Hull. I think you were to put them with sort of more evenly matched teams. I think that they could come with a result. So both teams to score is my bet. 1.8710 bet. Would you take it or pass, or what's the likelihood of that bet coming in?
I wouldn't be touching that at all. I think this will be 0-0, maybe 1-0 either side. I'm under 2.5 goals. Both teams not to score for me. Hull v Stoke. It looks a difficult one, but for me, no bet.
All right. I'm going to take it. Let's keep my fingers crossed. Leicester versus Crystal Palace. Leicester 2.07. Crystal Palace 3.99. The draw 3.48. All those odds with Pinnacle. One would think the Leicester win. I'm going to go for the Leicester win. They're doing so well in the Champions League, but obviously they failed to score against Chelsea last weekend, losing 3-0. Could that, was that because of their Champions League fixture? Are they going to bounce back? They're at home. Should we take the Leicester win?
Now, I've said I haven't got much of a bet this week, but this is one of my best bets of the weekend. I think Leicester here are an absolute massive price. They're the champions of England, Natalie. They're playing Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace. They're not like a side that are a top 6, top 7. I know they haven't had a great run of form, but all their bad form was away from home. At home, they're unbeaten in 90 minutes. They did lose against Chelsea in the Capital One Cup. They're unbeaten. They've kept the clean sheet in the last 3 games. Away from home, they're dreadful. But at home, King Power Stadium, they're doing well. It's a too good bigger price. This, if this was a Man United, Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool at home against Crystal Palace, there'd be 1.36, 1.4. You can get bigger than even money. It's the wrong price. I like Leicester a lot to win this. One of my bankers of the weekend.
Bankers of the weekend. And exactly. Crystal Palace lost to West Ham last weekend. It's a bet that we all took was to back Crystal Palace. Let us down there. So definitely don't want to be putting my money on Crystal Palace there to win. So Leicester is the bet for this match, both in agreement. Swansea versus Watford. Swansea 2.34, Watford 3.4, the draw 3.34. All those odds with Pinnacle. Obviously, Swans haven't won a match in 7. They've got to step up their game here. They've only won once, and then that was their season opener against Burnley. What are your thoughts on this match?
I think it's a very, very difficult game to call. I think both sides are very, very evenly matched. They play in a very similar way. Both got new managers. On paper, it looks like one that could produce goals. I think maybe I've got to lean towards goals. But again, no bet for me, Nat. No bet at all. Swansea v Watford. I wouldn't get involved. Watford, I thought last week would score goals in their game on TV against Middlesbrough. It ended 1-0 to Watford. The over's coming bad for me. Both teams to score coming bad for me. I'm not going to trust them again. This game, I really could turn around and say to you, it could be 0-0 or 4-4. It's one of those games. But I have a slight lean towards overs.
All right, well, that is my official bet, Nigel. Over 2.5 goals. You get that too. Bet 365. Now, all those Swans have had a poor run. They've played some very tough teams. They've played against Chelsea, Man City, Liverpool, Arsenal. But they've managed to score, though. So we definitely we'll see a couple of goals from Swansea. They do concede. I actually like both teams to score. I like the over 2.5 goals. I like the combination. But for this video and for my record, I'm going for the over 2.5 goals there too. West Ham versus Sunderland. I'm going to join you in the no bet one. I am on the fence here. I think this, like you sort of just said on the previous match here, could be 0-0, could be 4-4. I just think it's very, very difficult to predict. Kind of tempted, to be honest with you, with the West Ham win. They are at home, I think, boosted by confidence from that 1-0 Crystal Palace win. They're playing a team bottom of the Premier League, pretty much likely to be relegated, but they're just too low, 1.68. There's not any value in that, but if there was more value, I'd probably take the West Ham win.
Well, it's not surprised you. I've got no bet as well in this one. I mean, you don't have to have a bet in every single Premier League game. I mean, sometimes we have 7 bets, sometimes we have 9. This week I've got 5. I've seen West Ham play. I think they're on the verge of turning it around. I think they're a side, but I still don't trust them at home. I still think Sunderland will bring a big attendance down there, like Middlesbrough did a couple of weeks ago, and they got a 1-1 draw. Sunderland need to get something from the game. They're desperate to get something from the game. Both teams are, but I wouldn't be rushing to have a bet on this game at all. This really could be anything. I do think West Ham probably are the better side. Well, I think they are the better side, but they're not putting it together on the pitch, and at the prices, they're no bet.
All right, no bet. That is the bet for this, but I do have the lead on the West Ham. Maybe if the price goes up before kickoff, look to taking it. Liverpool versus West Brom. Liverpool on the favourites on their turf at Anfield, 1.27. West Brom, 12.9. Draw 6.32. Liverpool obviously come from their highlight match last weekend against Manchester United. 0-0 draw. Definitely looking to bounce back there. They're looking to win the Premier League. They need those 3 points. One thing, though, that these two have in common, they've got pretty tight defences. And I think that says to me the unders. And I found actually a pretty good bet over at Pinnacle, under 3 goals, and that's 1.826. If there's 3 goals, it's a no bet. If it's 2 goals, obviously your bet comes in. So there we go. That's my bet. I
like that. I didn't find that one myself, but I do think West Brom have got a chance here. I really do. I think they've got a chance of upsetting Liverpool. I think Liverpool can't handle it when teams put 10 men behind the ball like Manchester United did. Don't expect it. They like to take the game to people and like the opposition to come to them. West Brom will defend. They've got a good record here. They've had 1 draw last season, 1 win a couple of seasons before that, and 1 defeat, but only a narrow one. And I like West Brom plus 1.5 goals here at 2.1. I think West Brom will go there. I think they probably might get beat, but they only get beat by 1 goal. I'm going to go for West Brom. I'm going to hopefully get a draw, and hopefully they can get something from it. West Brom plus 1.5 goals, 2.1.
Nigel, you know, I think that's my most favourite bet of today's show. I have to say, I really like that one. Good job finding that one.
I don't know if that's the kiss of death on me, but we'll find out next week.
All right, moving over, Man City versus Southampton. Man City, not a bad price, to be honest with you, on their turf, 1.45. Southampton, 7.88. Draw, 4.81. All those odds with Pinnacle. Obviously, both have been involved in midweek matches, but Southampton will have less rest. Obviously, they played today, and they played away. Man City come from a big loss against Barcelona. But I think that Man City will want to bounce back. They are in good form. I've on the fence though about my bets. I'm going to hear what you're going to go for first.
I think Man City will get bigger and bigger and bigger. So my advice, if you want to back Man City, back them right at the kickoff time, because I think they'll drift. Man City didn't play Aguero. I think he'll return against Barcelona. He'll return in this game. Southampton have a side that haven't really won much against Manchester City, but they've always scored whenever they've gone to the Etihad. And I think in the form they're in, they'll go there in confident mood. I know they lost against Inter Milan tonight 1-0, but I think they go in a confident mood. They've got Charlie Austin, who's bang on fire as well. My bet here is both teams to score at 1.75. I'm not going to go for the match win. I'm not going to go for what score they're going to win by or what margin they're going to win by. But I think there could be goals in this game. This is a fixture that has goals, and both teams to score here, 1.75, with 2 strikers, bang on form, Charlie Austin and a returning Aguero who wants to put a number on. And I think it's testing time for Man City. They haven't won in their last 4 games, so I think it's interesting.
Yeah. My bet is Man City and the over 1.5 goals. Not sure sort of how fatigue will affect either team, mostly sort of Southampton. Just in case Southampton don't get that goal in, because Man City do have a good defence. They've conceded just 3 goals. They've scored 10 at home. And so I feel that this bet will cover me if it's a 2-0 Man City win, or of course then more, 2-1 Man City, but I need it to be Man City win. Man City in the over 1.5 goals. goals. Is that an all right bet?
I like that. I do like that. I think it's a good bet. I think we're on the same page again here. I think both teams to score is a game bet, but I was trying to look for an angle to get with Man City. I mean, maybe 2-1 Man City if you're looking for a correct score bet, but it won't be as one-sided as many predict.
Right. Okay, final match of the weekend, Chelsea versus Manchester United. Chelsea 2.22, Manchester United 3.72, and the draw 3.33. All those odds with Pinnacle. Before you do make your bets or anything like that, head on over to tipster101.com. Check they're all up to date. Chelsea are on good form. Last 2 matches have been 1-0. Manchester United, in fairness, has been a little bit hit or miss. It's sort of sad to say, really. They've only won 2 of their last 6 matches. I don't know. I would, as much as I would love to back Man United, I feel I can't.
It's quite funny how you can sort of interpret stats. I mean, Chelsea haven't won their last 2, but their 5 games prior to that, they never won a game, so they've probably only won 2 in 7. Man United have unbeaten their last 5 games. They haven't been winning games, they've been drawing games and getting results. So it's funny how you can look at stats in funny ways. I think there's only one person to sort of look at this game, and it's the returning fact of Jose Mourinho. He was a legend at Chelsea. He will feel very unfairly treated the way he was dismissed last season. He's a man on a mission. He's going to crank it up in every single press conference from now till Sunday. And I think he will have the mind games over Antonio Conte, a man who I think is too passionate, a man who I believe that is trying to do that. And he'll also have the benefit of knowing the players he's got there. He may go there with a similar strategy than what he did against Liverpool, which means we could result in another 0-0 boring game. But at the prices on offer, 3.7 or above, Manchester United have got to be a bet in this game. There have got to be a bet. I think they're a fantastic price at that price.
Yeah. Oh, you wouldn't play like a draw no bet or a Manchester and the draw double chance? Just in case, or you want the whole return for your money?
I think the 3.7 is too big. I mean, I'd probably make them about a 3 price. So there's so much value on my side that I've got to back them. But the one thing I do think, I think this will be very, very tight. I think under 2.5 goals will be a bet. That would be my main sort of bet if I was looking at it. But for purely on value purposes, the 3.7 on Manchester United to win this game is massive. I know Chelsea have beaten Hull and Leicester in the last 2 games. Prior to that, they haven't performed at all. Leicester were ahead of their Champions League matches. Manchester United have the players to turn this on. And Mourinho getting their side fired up, completely fired up. I think a fired up Man United will beat Chelsea at the weekend.
Yeah. Are you sure, as they were playing their Europa League fixture as well, they won't be sort of slightly fatigued from that on Sunday?
I don't think anyone who plays that Europa fixture will feature in this game. I think there'll probably be 6 or 7 changes, and I think that you'll find there's only one focus on the game, and that is the weekend. Mourinho is not a loser, and he's not going to go back to his old club and want to lose this game. No chance. All
right. Well, listen, I'm glad you said that they're going to keep things tight, because my bet as well, under 3 goals with Pinnacle, 1.9 best odds I could find there. Again, if there's, scores 3 goals, money's returned. If it's 2 goals, get my money in there. Almost evens, under 3 goals. You're not interested in that bet? You're not interested in that bet?
I do like it. I think it's going to be very tight. The history between this fixture is always very, very low scoring. I think 7 of the last 8 games between them have seen under 2.5 goals. So, I agree with you. But the value is all for Man United.
All right, value on Manchester United. I hope so. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. And Nigel, thanks for coming on and sharing your tips today.
Do your research before you bet. Check out our ratings guide to see which books have the best ratings and sign-up bonuses. Open up several accounts. Shop for lines at sbrodds.com. Always be ahead of the game.